All right, good morning and welcome to NDLEA Weekly on Clean Beat 91.5 FM Abuja. NDLEA Weekly is a program that highlights the work of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency in reducing the supply of illicit drugs, preventing drug abuse, promoting treatment and rehabilitation, and also strengthening public awareness on drug related issues. Now, addiction doesn't announce itself, it starts very quietly with curiosity, with pressure, with pain, and before long, it starts, dictating decisions and relationships and even futures. For many Nigerians, the hardest part isn't the drugs. It is, knowing where to go without fear of shame, arrest, or exposure. Now, the NDLEA 24/7 call center was set up to change that. It's a confidential, around the clock line for information, counseling referrals, intervention, guidance and support for people who are struggling with substance abuse and for families, trying to help. Now, that brings us to the topic of discussion today, which is drug abuse and how to access help from NDLEA 24/7 call center. I have my guest in the studio, Virginia Ezinne Ogwumah. She's the head of unit NDLEA National Toll-Free Line for Substance Use and Addiction. Good morning to you, Virginia.
Good morning.
All right. So together, in the next 30 minutes, we'll go beyond, what's the number and basically talk about what help actually really looks like, how the system works, what happens after you call, and how we as a society can make it easier for people to ask, for help before it is too late. For starters, Virginia, you look good, I must confess. I think you're team natural. You need to own it.
Thank you.
All right. So, how long have you been, heading this particular unit, the 24/7 call center of the NDLEA?
Okay, so I would say July makes it officially 1 year.
Oh, wow. So it's
Yeah.
1 year and counting.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. So, how has it been?
It's been very eye-opening, interesting, and I mean, I think it just opens a whole different window into the reality of things when it comes to people's response towards mental health care and access to help too. So
Okay. So when we say call center is 24/7, it means you and your team, you don't even sleep. You lose sleep over, what of course is expected of you in your unit. Am I correct or wrong?
Uh, in between,
In between.
in between. But run shifts.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so run shifts. So we have the morning shifts. We have those on night shifts too. So yes.
So how often do people call in to like, oh, please, I need help. I have been abusing this. I've been abusing that. I need the NDLA to come to my rescue.
Daily we get calls every day. Though I can't say maybe how many per hours, but we always have calls every day. Yeah.
Okay.
And saying like we have calls every day, you can imagine like in a month, maybe like total number of about maybe like 800 and something calls to like 1,000 plus calls, depending on the month.
In a month.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, do you work on Saturday and Sundays too?
Yeah. Mondays to
It's every
Sundays.
day.
Yeah, every day. Every day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 800 to 1,000 calls every month.
Yeah.
So what's the? Can you be very specific about the gender people who call often?
We have more males. Yeah, because at the end of the month we always do our reports, so we have more male callers. Interestingly, yes.
Wow. And is there a particular, region that you would want to attribute,
Okay.
the handful of the callers?
Okay. So
to?
if we look at that, we have our numbers hitting from FCT and Lagos. Yeah, usually like highest number of callers. Yeah,
The FCT?
yeah, and Lagos
Okay,
too.
so what does that tell you?
Well, I would say personally, what that says is maybe those in the city need to learn better coping skills, right? Maybe we need to actually do more sensitization, psychoeducation, how to get help, how to deal with certain emotional or mental struggles too. Yeah.
Okay, so let's not hit, the nail on the head.
Okay.
We're done ruffling feathers. We know the call center is 24/7 and confidential.
Yeah.
But in reality, many people still find it difficult to call in. maybe because of fear or being labeled, or reported. But from your experience, on the desk, what are the three, top fears that people express on their first call?
Okay, so like you said, generally, I think maybe I need to just address as a clinical psychologist. I think the ethics of our not I think the ethics of our profession is actually confidentiality. So
Mm,
outside teletherapy, in person, we are like, bound by our code of ethics not to reveal certain like, information. So we wouldn't do that, except maybe when we feel generally you might be of harm, like say suicidal ideation in
mm.
cases like that. Yes. So that's one, because oh, my information, is this safe? Then two, again, I think the fear of the NDLEA. Yeah, so they always think, oh, we want to report you, but no, we're just actually here to help you. Most times we try to reframe the word like, oh, we see users as victims, so we're here to actually offer help to you. We have a referral pathway. Depending on the state you are, we'd give you, a list of rehabilitation centers with numbers and the addresses too, that you can go and visit and, get like better professional help in person. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, so you're not just heading the team, you are also leading the team,
Yeah.
right? So how often, or have there been trainings where you get to like train officers, on how best to respond, especially in a way that, would build trust, you know?
Oh yeah, so we have quarterly trainings. It's
Okay.
consistent. We have the SUD training, which is popularly known as Colombo. So
Okay.
we do that. Every new team member who joins, you go through that, and quarterly too, we have like trainings, teletherapy, how to offer teletherapy. We also have psychosocial supports, psychological first aid too. Just refresher courses, just to help. Yeah.
Okay. So what happens after the hello? I mean, when I put a call across to you and you say hello, what happens next?
Yeah, so the first thing you just, oh, hi, this is my name. Where are you calling from? What's your age? How do you find out about us? And how can we be of help to you today? So it depends on what. Sometimes, because it's a call, sometimes there are prank calls too. So,
Prank calls?
oh, yes, you have to just give an opening. Yeah, because some people want to know if the number is actually real.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you get me? So they just call.
Okay.
And then when you discover that, oh, it's not a real call, you just quietly tell them, okay, this call actually meant for help for those who are seeking support for their struggles with addiction and substance use. If you could call or refer to someone, your loved one, just a more civil, cordial way to disengage the call. But yeah, we usually do have that from sometimes. Yeah.
Hold on a minute. The
Mm-hmm.
prank calls you're talking about here, did you also add that to the 800 to 1,000
Oh,
calls we're
no,
looking
no,
at
no,
in a
no,
month?
no, no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no, no,
All right.
no.
Okay, so walk us through the journey. If someone calls at 3 a.m. in crisis, what exactly happens? How do you deal with that?
Okay, so we've had instances where we've had okay, there was a time when someone called, his wife was in distress, and at the time he needed help. So the counselor on ground had to stay on the call with him
Mm.
till he was able to get, I think that call came in, I think, was it from Oyo State or so?
Mm.
And so we had to stay on the call. I think he had to do a panic, attack. So, the counselor on the call had to guide the man through helping his wife, assisting.
Immediately?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
So, like, it's therapy, right? So, oh, there's no need for panic, assisting him through till he was able to get her to the hospital. So, yes, that help is available.
Okay, so there is usually no follow up after the teletherapy?
Also, the thing now is because it's,
Especially because someone called you from Oyo State. So
yes.
do you contact your colleagues in Oyo State, for
Oh yes,
example, to do a follow up?
oh yes, so we have a referral pathway. That's why I said he held on to the call,
Oh,
because
okay.
anybody who calls, whatever state you are in, we would always refer you. We have a great database of rehabilitation centers, including the NDLEA rehabilitation centers. We also have on our database the private and the public ones. So the list is very extensive. So we're not just giving you one option. So depending how close are you, what's your local government, which of this is closest to you,
Mm.
and then the professional takes it up from there.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So, at the moment, are there gaps, in that chain that you would want to highlight and probably call on the CCO to look into?
Um, in terms of gaps, I would say it's more, we just need more calls. We need more people to call, right? Because when it comes to conversations about mental health, we need to understand that there's still like that very big stigma. People still misunderstand the concept of mental health. They most likely liken it to, that physical manifestation of a mental illness,
Yeah.
but there are also mental disorders. People struggle at work. people struggle in school. So how are you coping? Because when you start looking at those coping skills, you now start looking at conversations around, substance use too. So I think that psychoeducation is key, so that in a way we're able to address the existing stigma, and then we are able to have more people calling to and recognize the number that, oh yes, help is available, help is here, and it's safe for me to actually reach out. Yeah.
All right. So over here, we've been trying our best really
Mm-hmm.
to deconstruct, the fear of, stigma and some of the reasons why people would want to reach out, to your department or the agency in general for help. However, do you also go out, on routine sensitization, crusades, maybe to various places, actually, just strategic places?
Okay, yeah, we do that, and I would like to pinpoint, like, we're actually more on digital space because we're
But not
relatively.
everyone is on. Not everyone
Well,
has a,
not
a
yes,
browser-enabled phone.
well,
Yeah.
yes, not everyone
Mm-hmm.
does. So, but while we actually put in the effort for the traditional outreach, it's still important to also focus on digital outreach, because when you're even looking at the demographic, if I think back about it, even when we're looking at the age range, like you are seeing that is within 25 to about 35. That are like the highest numbers. Those ones are mostly online. Yeah. So we actually need, while we're doing the traditional, outreach, it's still important that we actually have the digital outreach too.
Okay, so very quickly, for the benefit of the person listening right now,
Okay.
who is also in a hurry, maybe to get to work and may not be able to follow, this
Okay.
conversation. So let's have the phone number or
Mhm.
the helpline, so the
Okay.
person can just save it on his or her phone
Okay.
immediately.
Okay. So it's 0800
Okay.
10 20 30 40.
Could you please take that again?
Okay. So 08 or 0800 1020 3040. Yeah.
All right. So that is the helpline.
Yes.
Is it toll free?
Yes, free.
Oh,
Zero
okay.
airtime, no charge.
Oh, so you can imagine what
Yes.
is stopping you. You need to, kind of like take this crusade to your workplace, your area where you reside, even places of worship. Tell people it is toll free. Just it's free of charge. Call the helpline, and you definitely would get help immediately. So now let's talk about prevention and intervention in its in real sense. Most calls probably come when things are already bad, but addiction really starts early. We can't even shy away from that. So how can the 24/7 line be repositioned so that parents, teachers and young people use it proactively and not just in emergencies?
Hmm. Well, the first word that came to my mind is lay counseling.
Okay.
Lay counseling. So maybe we can reframe the conversations to be like, okay, this toll-free line is not just for, if you're experiencing an active, symptom of addiction, or you're struggling with substance use. Probably if you just want to speak to somebody, maybe you're going through something and you need to vent. Though we already have calls like that, right?
Okay.
That come in and just people like, oh, I just want to talk to somebody. I'm going through a lot. And interestingly, we've had calls where, when people are like, I'm not happy, like I've been sober for a while and I just relapsed. I'm not happy with myself. What's going on? What can I do to? That's why we have these clinicians on the call who would give you, like, a quick talk therapy, and also refer you to a professional in your location for you to follow up an in-person session. So yeah.
All right. So, what roles should schools, religious bodies, and communities play in making that shift?
Um Again, I think the key word is just psychoeducation, right? Because before the teachers are able to, hold space for the students, they also need to understand what mental health is. Even the religious bodies too, before they are able to hold space in terms of beyond, their own understanding of spirituality, they also need to understand what mental health means too. So that's psychoeducation, and that can look like, psychological first aid, because obviously you would not be able to compress what someone learned in 4 years into a week for the person. So like that psychoeducation, psychological first aid, like common signs, timelines too. I mean, like the most common timeline is the 2 weeks, because human response, you can feel sad, you can go through all sorts of emotions, but what you do with those emotions or how you act while you're feeling those emotions
It's
is
very
what's
important.
key,
Yeah.
and also the kind of thoughts that you actually hold on to. So most times when someone comes and like, oh, I'm feeling depressed, how do you know you're depressed? Were you diagnosed? Do you get me? And they'll be like, oh, I'm just feeling this way. And then when you now ask, okay, you're feeling not yourself, how long have you been feeling that way? If it's more than 2 weeks, okay, then you start looking at it deeply, like, okay, what might be the cause? Are we looking at, early stages of mild depression? Is it something that can migrate into like an actual illness or something? Is it as a result of substance? You just keep doing more findings just to help better.
Okay. All right. So you've received calls, mostly from people in the FCT and Lagos,
Yeah.
you said earlier.
That's highest numbers actually,
Okay,
but we
highest
get calls from
numbers.
every state. Yeah.
Every state,
Yeah.
okay. And we're looking at, more males as opposed to
Yes.
females. Can you peg an age to these, calls?
Yeah, so that was why I said the highest calls are usually from 25 to 35.
25 to
Yeah, that's
35.
the
So
age
what
range.
happens to 25? Let's take it down,
Okay.
below 25.
Okay.
You've not gotten calls from
Oh,
people
yes, of course we do. Even below 18 we do.
below 18?
Oh, yes, we do. Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Someone listening out there might be really very interested. How did you handle a call from someone below 18?
Yeah, because so some of them they're in secondary school, right?
Yes.
So when it comes to secondary school, aside from maybe coping, in terms of looking like teenagers, most times peer influence, most times curiosity, right? Yeah, so they might fall into that. Oh, my friend told me to take this thing. Or I don't know, I don't really like it. What do you think? How can I help? How can I stop? What do I do? So those are the kind of calls that we get in terms of, that age range.
So let me also ask you. I mean, this is like a follow up to what you just said.
Okay.
Below 18 is really disturbing.
Okay.
I must confess. But do you partner with some of these places of learning, not just in the FCT, but of course across the country? Since of course we have NDLEA, offices spread across the country.
Yeah, so through the department of the DDR, so we
What's
actively
the DDR?
that's drug demand reduction.
Okay.
Yeah, so we actively work with schools, we go into the NYSC camps, orientation camps to have conversations about that. That's the psychoeducation, because that one is very key, because before the campaigns, they need to understand the language behind the campaign. What is this campaign all about? So yeah, there's still active groundwork, but there's still a lot of work to do in Nigeria and Africa as a whole when it comes to conversations around mental health because of stigma actually.
Okay. In your words, you can actually put the number of calls you get in a month. You can peg it around 800 to 1,000. A step in the right direction, but of course, one will say that more should be done,
Yeah.
to increase the numbers. But beyond, the number of calls and the referrals, how do you, right? Because you are the one heading the team and NDLEA in general, how do you measure success, when it comes to actual recovery and reintegration?
So for me, I would say how we measure that is in terms of referrals. How many referrals? Because some calls like, oh, this one, that one, it might just be like, oh, just a 45 minutes online counseling. But how many people like, oh, please, can you give us a referral of the hospitals? So for now, I would say I measure it by the number of referrals that we get.
Do you think that's fair enough?
It can be better, but then again, my main focus is for us to get more calls first. Yes, it can be better. Yeah, because
Okay.
I mean, this is a national toll-free line.
Right.
We have 36 states, and in a month we're getting 1,000 to 800. It can be more now. I mean, in the whole of Nigeria, looking at our population, it can be more.
Okay. All right.
can be
So,
more.
are there stories or data points that show that the call center is indeed, saving lives and also keeping, families together?
Oh, so that's very interesting that you asked that. I think our social media manager brought something up to me that was about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I think there was a conversation, one of these very popular podcasts, I think the Honest Bunch.
Oh, okay.
And the guy was speaking about, his relationship with I think Met or so. And it
Crystal
was
meth, you mean?
yes. So I think, and at the point, I think he was going through an episode and he really needed somebody to speak to. And apparently he called us.
Wow.
Yeah. And he said he was thankful because that call really helped me at that point. So I didn't even know. So it was my social media manager that brought it up that, oh, ma, like you see, like we got mentioned though in this conversation. See, this man was going through something and he said he called us and we're able to, guide him through and help him through, like, that episode he was going through. So, yeah, we're actually doing the work, right? But the thing about this thing is, when we do this referral, because of the sensitivity of some of the cases, we
Right.
cannot amplify, oh, this person went through this and this, that. But I think, when we get testimonies like this and we get feedback like this, it really goes a long way. But for me, I think my main priority is, just breaking down that stigma, or will I say maybe that resistance of people calling. Just call first. We're here to help. We're not here to arrest you. We're not here to report you. We're really just here to, offer you the help that you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's have the helpline again.
Okay, so that's 0800
0800
10 20 30 40.
Wow. 10, 20,
30
30, 40.
40. Yeah.
Wow. That's indeed a helpline.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what do you wish the public understood about the human side of the work you do, on that line?
There's nothing you're going through that we've not gone through, right? I don't think there's any human experience that is unique or different or has never been experienced before. I think it's just learning how to better cope, learning how to better manage, learning resilience, having just a positive perspective towards life. Yeah. Every day we can't always have, like, good days, but good days don't bad days don't last forever.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay. All right. You can be part of the conversation if you are just joining us. This is NDLEA Weekly live on Clean Beat 91.5 FM. You can call in to ask questions. All right. I've got the head of unit NDLEA National Toll-Free Line for substance use and addiction. And we are looking at drug abuse and how to access help from NDLEA 24/7 call center. Now, the studio line is open. You can call in on 090-3000-6915. Again, the number is 090-3000-6915. You can send in a message if you don't want to call in on 090 3000 5915. That is the WhatsApp number. Again, it is 090 3000 5915. Feel free to stay anonymous. I mean, if that's okay by you. All right. As we wrap up the conversation, okay, I think we have a call here. Let's see if we can. Okay. Hello. Good morning. Hello. Hello. Good morning. All right. Please do well to. Hello. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Please. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
What's your name? What's your name and where you're calling from?
I'm calling from here.
What's your name again?
Musa.
All right, Musa, good to have you. Please go ahead.
Yes. Just want to come quickly. And my question is, I just want to confirm where is their office, or if somebody have beyond gone through the line they gift. Is there any way that somebody can send a quotation through a written mail, or you have to go through the line? And if you happen to see someone on the road, how can you be able to see that you can calling them? Can they come and take the person? Because sometimes we need to win the street, we definitely come from juvenile delinquency. They are living under the influence of drugs. Can you call them? Will they come there, or somebody has to call their assistance to the phone?
All right, Musa, thank you so much for that question. Thank you. Please stay on the dial, for the response that Virginia is definitely going to give to that. So he's asking that, let's say you're walking on the street and then you see someone having an episode. Is it enough to just put a call across to you, to your desk, or there is more that is actually expected of, someone in that kind of situation?
Okay, so this is me just trying to imagine you're walking on the road and you see someone who is actively, acting out of normal. You can always call, but why calling? I think the guide would be on how to, better manage the person in terms of moving the person and to where you would be moving the person
Absolutely.
to, actually. So I think that is what we can do from the call center. Obviously, you can always call. We are all trained. They are clinical psychologists. When you call, you would be asked, okay, what symptom is that person exhibiting? So they can actually better advise you on how to, handle the patient. And also, again, location.
Okay.
So we tell you where you need to take the person to.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that response. Musa, I hope that answers your question, but thank you also for calling in. And as we wrap up the conversation, we understand that drug trends are changing, pretty fast. New substances, online sales, peer pressure on social media. So how is the 24/7 call center, evolving to meet these new realities? In a minute, if you can, please.
Okay, in a minute, I would just say it's still the digital space, because at the end of the day, that's the platform that is amplifying some of all those things. You go on Twitter, you go on all the social media pages, you're just seeing a lot of things that are suggestive and promoting, drug culture. So in the same vein, we also need to, amplify our message more on digital spaces about the dangers, and beyond just showing you the dangers, also teaching, replacing, with healthy coping skills, better ways to cope with stress, better ways to cope with anxiety, better ways to just cope generally with mental and emotional struggles.
All right. Okay. So what's your final word to the person listening out there who is, struggling, with drug addiction and abuse?
Our help is available. We're always available. One call away. Just give us a call and we're there for you. Yes, sure.
Give us a call and we're there for you. The helpline again.
0800 10 20 30 40.
One more time.
0800 10 20 30 40.
All right. The head of unit NDLEA National Toll-Free Line for Substance Use and Addiction, Virginia, Ezinne Ogwumah. Thank you so much for obliging us today on the show.
Thank you so much.
All right. And to you, thank you for listening. Musa Alon caller on the show today. Thank you so much for calling in as well. NDLEA Weekly definitely makes a return, same time, same station next week. Until then, I am Efe. I'm still very much in the studio. Stay with us. There's a lot more to come. Good morning.